Hello, my name is Brooke Seward and welcome to my presentation. This presentation examines how young people form connections and communities through social media, focusing on TikTok and the Australian Government under 16 social media ban. Social media has become deeply embedded in young people's everyday lives, shaping how they communicate, express themselves, and form relationships. In 2024, the Australian Government introduced a ban on social media for individuals under the age of 16. This came into effect in 2025. While the policy aims to protect young people, it raises important questions about how social media functions in their everyday lives. Despite the ban, the popularity of social media is still present for youth, with parents reporting that over 69% of youth under the age of 16 still had a TikTok account, as reported by Josh Butler from The Guardian in March of this year. This presentation argues that social media platforms such as TikTok enable young people to form communities and to express identity through their affordances, and that the under 16 ban ultimately undermines youth agency and participation in digital public life. For young people, social media is not just entertainment. Social media provides the means for users to perform activities and actions on the platforms themselves. Social media plays a key role in identity formation, communication, and social connection. Platforms allow users to present themselves, interact with peers, and participate in shared cultures and discussions. In her book It's Complicated, The Social Lives of Network Teens, academic Dana Boyd explains social media often complements offline relationships rather than replacing them, becoming an extension of everyday life. To understand how communities form online, it is important to consider the concept of affordances. Affordances refer to the actions that platforms enable users to perform. On TikTok, these include visibility, persistence, interactivity, and algorithmic discovery. Features such as likes, comments, shares, and the TikTok For You page allow users to connect with others, to share content, and to discover new communities. These affordances actively shape how people interact and build connections online. A key concept for understanding online communities is network publics. As communications scholar Axel Bruns explains in his article From the Public Sphere to a Network of Publics, networked publics are spaces where people are connected through shared interest or identities. On social media, individuals are not just passive audiences, but active participants who create, share, and engage with content. TikTok is a strong example of how affordances enable community formation. Its short form video, combined with features such as likes, comments, and sharing, allows users to easily engage with each other. Hashtags such as those related to the social media ban allowed users to gather around specific topics and to form communities. Youth actively used a range of hashtags to engage with their peers and to share information regarding the ban. The platform's algorithm also promotes content discovery and connecting users with others who share similar interests. In an article published in 2022, academics Diana and David Zulli explain that TikTok also includes further options to share video through direct messaging, email, and through on-share to other platforms such as Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and WhatsApp. This sharing ability spreads the videos at a rapid pace. This is important when considering news content such as the social media ban. Together, these features create an environment that encourages participation, creativity, and connection. When the under 16 ban was announced, many young people turned to TikTok to express their views and to connect with others. They use short form videos, comments, and hashtags to discuss the impact of the policy and to share their concerns. The platform enabled young people to connect rapidly and to quickly discuss and share their thoughts and opinions. Youth argued that social media shouldn't be banned, rather, it should be up to the platforms to regulate distribution and the safety of information on their platforms. They further argued that it will affect how they stay informed, initiate public discourse on topics that they can't facilitate themselves elsewhere. Josh Butler, a journalist from The Guardian, reports in an article published in 2026 that in a survey of over 900 parents, 31% said their children still had social media accounts. ABC journalist Kale Matthews reports that youth found it relatively easy to bypass the measures that were put in place to restrict youths from using platforms such as using their older friends' IDs. This response highlights how important social media is for their communication and sense of belonging. Rather than disengaging, youth actively sought out ways to remain part of these online communities. For some young people, social media is also linked to economic participation. Young public influencers such as Zoe, Ella, and Tilly use TikTok to build audiences and to generate income. The ban limits their ability to now create content, engage with their communities, and pursue emerging forms of digital work. As reported by Ailish Delaney from Mamamia, youth influencer Zoe argued that the ban effectively takes her away her right to earn money and create a career online. This raises questions about youth agency and their right to participate in digital economies. Both Zoe and Ella have since created new accounts with their parents to continue to use the platform and to communicate with their peers. This shows that social media is not only social, but also cultural and economic. Despite its intentions, the ban seems to be ineffective. Reports indicate that many young people continue to access social media by bypassing restrictions, often with parental awareness. Josh Taylor, a reporter from The Guardian, wrote that the E-Safety Commission has found that 66% of parents had allowed their children to remain on social media without asking their child to go through the age verification process. This suggests that the ban does not align with the realities of how embedded social media is in young people's lives. Additionally, critics argue that the government overlooked expert advice, as reported by The Guardian journalist Samantha Floriani, in the fields of digital well-being, digital rights advocacy, youth mental health, and more than 140 academics and 20 Australian civil society organisations. Overall, the ban risks limiting participation without addressing the underlying issues. In conclusion, the social media platforms such as TikTok play a critical role in how young people form connections and communities. Through their affordances, these platforms enable identity formation, communication, and participation in networked publics. Rather than restricting access, a more effective approach would be to focus on improving online safety, education, and platform accountability. This would better support young people in navigating and participating in digital environments. Thank you for listening.